Hello everyone, welcome to SM Call. Today we are going to solve another LeetCode problem named Reconstruct Original Digits from English. So it's a medium level question. If you have not read the problem statement, you can pause the video right now and then you can begin. So what they are saying here that we will be given one non-empty string. So you can think this is our string and that will contain the English representation of digits 0 to 9. Okay, fine. And we need to output the digits in ascending order, right, or increasing order. So what that means, suppose this is our input string, right, and you can see that in that characters are not in sequencer; it is in random order. But if you check it properly, this particular string contains three digits, right? Basically 0, ZERO, then 1, ONE, and then TWO. So all these characters are present in this input string. So we need to return 0, 1, 2. Basically, we need to go through that input string and we need to find out the corresponding digit. So the digit will be in English letter. So we need to pick up the digit and we need to return it as an output. Okay. So we need to keep in mind that we need to return in increasing order. Okay. And apart from this, there are some given notes. So let's try to read the same. Okay, so fine. The first thing is that all the input letter or characters will be in lowercase. Okay, so there is no chance of uppercase letter. Okay, so we can ignore those things. And the second is input is guaranteed to be valid and can be transformed to its original digits. So what that means? So that means that input will not contain any invalid character. So if you can see the example like ABC, so using ABC we can't from any digit, right? So ABC is invalid character, or you can check the second one also, right? ZERONE. So if you check that, we can build, or we can get two digit, right? Either zero or one. But in this case, it's invalid because here, if I probably select one, right, I can see we are not using ZER, these three characters, so it's invalid. What that means? So whatever character will be in there in the input string, we should use all the character. It's not like that up to a subset like this zero, only zero. So in this case, we are not using any N and E, right? So in this case, it's an invalid. Okay, so every character will be used for one digits. Okay, so there should not be any extra invalid character. So these are the thing we need to keep in mind, and our input length will be always less than 50,000. Okay, so you can check the second example also. Here you can see we can from two digit, one is 4 and 5, and we have to return it in increasing order 4 and 5. Okay, now let's try to see how we can solve this problem, or how we can approach this problem to solve it. So what we will do, so these are the English representation, right, of each and every digit up to 0 to 9. Basically we need to consider up to 0 to 9. Fine. Now how we can identify it properly, right? So suppose if you check the 0, right, so if you write 0 in English, it is ZERO, correct? So you can basically see it has ZERO. Fine. So what is the unique character here? If you look at properly, that Z is unique here. So Z character is not present for other digits, right? Z is only present for 0. So we can say if I find any Z, that means 0 should be there in our output. We can make sure that. Okay. Similarly, if you check 2 also, right, here again for 2, I can see the W is unique here. So W is not present in other digits. It is only present in 2, correct? So again, it's a unique character for 2, correct? Now let's look at 4. Again for 4 also you can see U is unique because U is not present anywhere apart from 4. Similarly for 6 it is X, and similarly for 8 it is G, right? So these are the 5 digits we can say that we can easily identify, because these digits contains one unique character in their English representation. Okay, so these are pretty easy to identify these 5 numbers. But what will happen for other number, right? 5, 2, 5, 1, 3, 7, 9, because this digit has no unique character. Okay, so that is the problem. So if you write 5 in English, it is FIVE, right? I can say that F is already there in the 5 and F is already there in the 4. So we can't guarantee that it's for 5. Okay, so how we can do this? So probably you can see that. So if you take the representation of 5, it is FIVE, right? So we will try to identify what is the uh, the frequency of 5 probably, right? So if I check the frequency of F is 2 here. If 5 is present in F is present in 5 and F is present in 4 also, right? So what I will do, so I will check the frequency of F and I will subtract the value of 4. Why? suppose I have one string like this, right? OUFR, correct? OUFR. Okay. So I can see, just think this, right? So I found F, correct? So whenever I will find F, I have two possibilities. Either it can be 4 or it can be 5, correct? But you can see that whenever I will check U, right, I can identify that U is there. That means it should be 4, because we know that there should not be any extra character, right? So I can see U is there, then it must be 4. So we should consider the 4, right, not the 5, because whenever I will write 4, it will take this, it will consider this one single ape, right? So that what we will, so to decide that whether we have 5 in our input string or not, we will check the frequency of f and we will subtract the value of 4. That means we found one, we already used one ape, right? So in this case we are not able to see any 5 here, right? So for that reason we are subtracting it. So once I will write the code, you will better understand it. Okay, so again you can check for 1 also, right? So 1 is like this, ONE. So here I can see, I will check probably O, frequency of O, right? So I can see O is present in 2, correct? O is present in 4 and O is present in 0. So in this case we need to subtract the value of 2, 4 and 0 to decide that whether 1 is present or not. Similarly for 3 also, I can see T is there in 2 and 8. Again we need to subtract the value of 2 and 8 to decide that whether 3 is present or not in our input string. Similarly, if you check the 7, in case of 7, S is there in 6 also, right? So we need to subtract the value of 6 to decide whether 7 is present or not. Similarly for 9, NINE. So you can pick N also, right? But we are picking those characters where frequency is less, right? So you can see N is present in multiple areas, right? Okay, so using N is also present in 7 also, right? So you can do that also, that's not a problem. For simplicity we pick I, and I can see I is present in 5, 6, 8. Again we need to subtract the value of 5, 6 and 8, correct, to decide whether 9 is present or not. So basically we are using this map. We are not going to write this map, we are just trying to derive a formula, means a pattern, right, using which we can easily identify the same. So I can see if Z is there, then I can say it is 0. If W is there, then I can say 2 is there. If U is there, then I can say 4 is there, like this, right? But in this, for these 5 digits, we need to check that whether we found these 5 digits earlier or not. If I found these 5 digits, we are going to subtract that value. Then only we can say these digits are present in our input string or not. Okay. So let's quickly check one example, or let's try to debug the given example using our table, and then that will surely give you much better understanding. Okay. So just think this input, right? This is our input, right? So what I will do first, we will take one map, or you can take an array also, and we will try to identify the frequency of each and every character in the given input string. Forget about this map. We will just iterate through this input string, and we will try to find out the frequency of each and every character. So at first I will find O. So frequency will be 1. Then I will find W. Again frequency will be 1. Then I can see again O. So we already saw O once, right? Frequency of O will become 2, correct? Now again we find it is Z. So Z is not there. So frequency of Z will be 1 in our map. Then again T. We never saw T earlier, right? So frequency of T will be 1. Then again it is N. Again I can see N is the first time we are seeing here. So frequency of N will be 1. Then again E we are saying first time till now because we are here right now. So again frequency of E will be 1. Then again 0, correct? For 0 I can see, sorry, O. I already saw O twice. So frequency of O will become 3. Now again I found E. So I can see E, we already found E once, right? So again we will increment the frequency of E with 2. Similarly for R, we are seeing the R first time. So frequency of R will be 1. Correct. So using this way we can identify the frequency of each and every character. So this will be our first step, to identify the frequency of each character. Then what will be our next step? So next we will try to identify, using this map we will try to map, or frequency map you can say, we will try to identify the characters. Okay. So probably at first we will go back to our table, or we will check do we have any z in our input string, or we are not going to scan the input string again and again, right? So that we make this map, or we build this map, right? So that it will reduce the time complexity. So again, we will come to our frequency map and we will check z is there. Yeah, z is there, and frequency is already 1. That means 0 should be there. So we can easily append 0 in our output. Now again, I will come to w. I can say I will check our map and I can say w is already there. So 2 should be there in our output, right? Similarly, I will check for u. So I can see u is not there, so 4 is not there. Then x is also not there. Then 6 is not there. Then 8 means g is not there. Again 8 is not there, right? Now I will come to 5. So again for 5, I will check the frequency of f. F is not there, right? So we should not consider f. Okay. Now we will come to 1. So in case of 1, I can see O is there. Okay, fine. So how we can decide that O1 is present or not? So we will check. Okay, frequency of O is 3. Fine. We will consider that value. Then we will subtract the value of 2, 4, and 0. Okay. So in this case, 2 is present. So I know we already use 1 O, right, for 2. So frequency of 2 is 1 here, right? So it will be -1. Again, I will check for 4. 4 is not there, so we should not consider 4 in this example. Now again we will come to 0. Again I can see frequency of 0 is already 1. So again we will subtract the value. So that will give is 1. 3 minus 1 minus 1. That means we still have 1 O left, and we can use that. And now we can say, okay, I already saw 0. I already saw 2. Now the remaining O is for 1. Okay, now we can make sure, okay, this O is for 1, so that 1 is also present. Now we can return the output, right? So this is the logic, right? So using subtraction, you can easily identify that is there any remaining character present for that digit or not. Okay, so let's quickly see the code for the same. This is the logic we are going to use, and after seeing the code, that will probably give you much better understanding. So what we will do at first, we need to, as I told you, right, we need to store the frequency. So I will take one array in this case, since I know that we will get only lowercase English letters. So since array is faster than map for less number of inputs, and we know that every time it will contain up to 26 digits only, 26 characters only, right? So in this case, we are going to, instead of map, we are going to use array, right? So let us name it as characters, and we know that it can be A to Z in lowercase, right? So in this case, our array size will be always 26, right? Okay, fine. Now what next? Now we took our array. Now I will iterate through our string, input string, and we will update the frequency, right? So let's do that. So we can run one for loop int. Instead of taking int, let's take character only, and we are going to convert the string into character array. So we can use inbuilt to-char array in Java, and after that we will update the frequency, right? So we can use our array cats, and we can easily so we know that every character has its ASCII value, right? So what we will do, my current character, that is C. So suppose this is my input, right? O W Z T N. So I will pick O, and I will check the ASCII value of 0, because our array is from 0 to 25. I need to map that ASCII value into 0 to 25 only, right? So if I see that, if I say, suppose the value of ASCII value of O is probably 122, fine. So we can't map that into 0 to 25, right? Because it will throw array out of bound exception. Okay, so that we need to map it. So what I will do, whatever my character, I am going to subtract the value with A. So small a. So ASCII value of small a is 97. So if my value of O is probably 122, I will subtract it to minus 97. Then it will come into our 0 to 25 range, right? So that we are doing this C minus A. Okay, so whatever that value, I am going to update it. So initially it is 0. If I see 1 or sorry, if I see 1 O, I will update the frequency of O. It will be 1 right now. Okay, so this for loop will make sure that our frequency array is generated. Now I have frequency of each and every character in the given input string into this character array. Okay, so this was our first step. Now what we will do next, we need to now decide that whether 0, this map, right? We need to decide that 0 is there, 2 is there, like this, right? So let's do that. So what we will do at first, to check that, we can check like this, that let's take another array where we are going to store the digits. So let us take it, call it as D, and in this case our size will be, we know it will be always 0 to 9. So again we can consider this digit D array of size 10. Okay, so since we are going to store 0 to 9, so we can take an array of size 10. Now I need to see that whether 0 is present or not. So let's do that. So what I will do, I will write like this: D 0, that means here index is the number. Okay, so 0, I will check that whether z is present or not. Okay, so we can write like this, right? Chars our character array, and I know that for 0 z is common, right? So z should be there, this should be unique rather. So I will take the value of frequency of z. So again I am subtracting with character a, since z character is ASCII value, so I am subtracting with a. Okay, so this will, if it is 0, then it will d0 will be 0. Okay, or a frequency of 0 or digit value value of digit 0 will be 0. Okay, so if it is 1, then it will be 1, right? Now again I will know that I can identify 2 4 similarly also, right? So let's do it for 2. For d2 again we are going to consider chars, then again z minus, in this case w is unique, sorry, it should be w minus a, correct? So this will give us the frequency of 2. Again we can do it for 4 also. Okay, so again for 4 chars, we know for 4 u is unique, right? So again we will check for u, for frequency of u. If I see it is 1, whatever it is, 1 0, it will be assigned to d4. Apart from this we also have 6 and 8. Okay, for 6 I know that x should be unique, right? So it should be chars, and again we will subtract the value of x, subtract a from x. Okay, that will give us the frequency of x. Fine. Now again we know for 8 also, right? For 8 I know that g should be there. So again I will subtract the value a from g, and that will give us the frequency of g. Fine. So we are done with the first 5 digits. Now for the remaining one, let's do it. So again now I will check it for, let's start with probably 1. Okay, so for, or probably 5 you can say, whatever. Okay, so 5, for 5 how I can know? So I know that for 5 if should be, if can be there for 2, correct? 2 numbers, right? 4 and 5, correct? So I will check the frequency of if. Okay, so it should be char, fine, chars, and I need to check the frequency of if, and again I will subtract with a. Now I will subtract with the value of 4. We already decided the value of 4. Whatever the frequency, I am going to subtract that, because suppose we are checking for f, right? It can happen that we already used that f for 4, so we should not use the same for 5. Okay, so that we are subtracting here. Okay, so it should be d4, correct? Now we are done with 5. Now let's do it for 1 also. So for 1 I know unique character is not unique, but we decided that we will check for o, right? So it should be chars, and again we were going to subtract the value o minus a, and I know o can be there in 2 also, correct? O can be there in 0 also, or 4 also, right? 4, and we also can, it can be there in 0 also, right? So we need to subtract all the value of 0 to frequency of 0 to 4, all the value of 0 2 and 4. Okay, so now we are done with 5 and 1. Now let's do is for 7 also. For 7 we decided that we will check the frequency of s, correct? So it should be s minus a, and we know that s can be there in 6 also, right? So we will subtract the value of d6. Okay, fine. Now what next? So 5 1 7, then we can also check it for 3. So let's check it for 3 chars, and for 3 we decided t is, we will check for frequency of t, right? So t minus a, and t can be there in 2 and 8 also, correct? So let's do that. So it should be d2 minus d8, correct? Okay, now what next? It is 9, correct? So it should be d9, and I can see that we are going to take I here. So we are going to consider the frequency of I, and then it's minus a, then I can be there in 5, correct? I can be there in 8, correct? And apart from this I can be there in 6 also, right? 5 6 and 8, so it should be 6. Okay, so this will give us the number of, so suppose it can happen, right? For large input, 0 is there twice, so it can be 0 0. So after this these assignments of this 10 lines, I will know that which number is present how many times, okay, in our input string. So here you can see the sequence matter, right? We should consider D9 at the end after calculating D5, D8, and D6. Okay, you need to keep in mind that. Okay, now I know that frequency of each number in our input string. Now it's pretty straightforward. We can scan the digit array or D array, and we can easily find out the output, actual output, right? So since string is immutable in the Java, and we need to return string, so we are going to use string builder here. Okay, or let us name is our output, and we are going to initialize it as string builder only. Fine, and let us name it as sb properly. Okay, and fine. Next, now I need to run the for loop in the digits, and I need to find out the frequency of each digits. Okay, fine. And we need to append the same in our string, so we need two for loop here. So first for loop will run int I. It will run from 0 and it will run till I less than, it will run till 9, right? So you can write I less than 10 and then again I plus plus, correct? And similarly, so it should be int, sorry. And similarly, I need another loop. So I run it for 0 to, I will check for 0 to 9. Now I need to scan this digit array. I need to check the frequency, right? Because if it can happen that I found 1 twice, so I need to append 2 times 1, right, in our output. So for that we need another for loop. So it should be int j, and j can run from 1 and j can run till j less than equals to my digits value, digit frequency. So it should be d of I, correct, and j plus plus. Okay, now it's pretty simple. If I found 0 is 1 time, I am going to append that 1 time into our string builder sb.append, and we can append I. Okay, that's fine. So after this two for loop, our output will be generated, but it will be in string builder, so we need to convert it back to the string. So we can use again toString method. So return dot sb dot toString. Okay, fine. So I think that's pretty much. Let's quickly run the code and see whether it's compiling. Okay, you can see our code is compiling. Let's quickly submit the code and check whether it's accepted or not. Okay, you can see it's accepted, and we are betting 100% of Java solution, Java submission. Okay, so I think that's pretty much for this video. And if you like this video, you can subscribe to our channel. And if you have still some doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. Okay.